If this message has found you, it's because you were meant to receive it. Pause everything else, yes, even your thoughts, and listen deeply, because what you're about to hear isn't random inspiration. It's a divine appointment. There's a mystery on your very hands. Not everyone has it. Not everyone will understand it. But those who carry the letter M and the crescent moon in the sacred lines of their palms, you are the ones this message was crafted for. You are the brilliance. The evidence that the divine didn't just create people, he designed emissaries. This channel wasn't built for trends or to chase applause. It was created as a compass for you, a tool to guide the marked souls scattered across this earth, souls who carry prophetic codes carved into their very skin. And if you're still here, well, it's because something inside of you knows. You're not like the rest. Let me ask, wondered why the lines form such specific patterns? Why, no matter how much you try to ignore the spiritual pull inside of you, it keeps calling you back? Why others around you can live ordinary lives while you feel a fire inside your chest that refuses to die down? You've spent years searching for answers in books, podcasts, lectures, but nothing truly explained why your life has felt like a divine detour. But now, it's time for revelation. It's time to unmask the hidden identity of the marked ones. Here's the truth: they never aren't just symbols. They are spiritual coordinates. Coordinates that point to a soul chosen to awaken during this specific generation. A generation where light is rare and deception is dressed as truth. You are not here just to survive. You were marked to intervene. You see, the M that appears on your palm is not a coincidence. It is ancient. It is encrypted in several spiritual traditions, including hid. Oral prophecies passed down in secrecy. This mark has been described as the seal of manifestation. It was believed that those who bear this symbol are the ones equipped to manifest divine blueprints on earth. The crescent moon? It's even more mysterious. It's been linked with prophetic vision, with cycles of renewal, with the ability to see through veils others can't even perceive. It represents awakening, often in those who've suffered deeply but refuse to let darkness swallow them. And here's the number many overlook: 22. This is the number of divine activation for the marked ones. In ancient numerology, 22 was known as the master builder. If you keep seeing this number, or if it resonates with your path, it's no accident. You've been summoned for construction, not of buildings, but of spiritual systems, healing channels, and prophetic platforms. But none of this can activate unless you recognize the urgent. Now, your confusion about your path was never because you were lost. It was because your true compass hadn't been unlocked. And that compass was hidden in plain sight in your hands, in your dreams, in your trials. Many who carry the letter M and the crescent moon live in tension. They feel misunderstood, even rejected, because the world cannot explain their sensitivity, their intuition, their ability to feel things others ignore. You were not built for shallow living. You were built to detect spiritual frequencies most people have never even imagined. It's time for alignment. No more shrinking into the background. No more denying your instincts. No more explaining away your gift. Because the truth is, you've already been chosen. Now it's your turn to say yes to that calling. This is not a coincidence. It is your awakening. This is your season to step forward, not as a student, but as a bearer of spiritual light. Are random? That your dreams are too wild, your vision too strange. Ignore that noise, because the ones who carry this divine coding were never meant to fit in. They were designed to ignite transformation. Before we move deeper into this prophetic unveiling, let me ask you to do this now. Subscribe to this channel. If you feel this message touches something ancient within you, we're not building numbers, we're gathering the tribe of the marked. Leave a comment with the number 22 if you felt the pulse of this revelation. That number signals to the divine that you are awake, present, and ready. And share this video with one person who has the Crescent or the M, because you may be the messenger they've been praying for. This isn't just content, it's a signal, a pulse to call forth those who've been asleep in plain sight. Before we continue, let me pause for something very personal. If this content is stirring another, please subscribe to this channel. This space exists because of you, because I believe that the scattered pieces of the divine tribe are being gathered. Through content like this, we're building a prophetic archive, a sanctuary for those with the mark, a digital upper room where modern-day Josephs, Deborahs, Esthers, and Daniels can awaken together. Now, I don't want you to just subscribe. I want you kind of content you would love to see that speaks directly to the spiritual signs you carry. Tell us what your dreams have been saying, what your palm lines whisper at midnight. Let's make this a community of revelation, not just information. So go ahead, pause this video if you must subscribe, share, and leave your prophetic imprint in the comments. Then come right back here, because what's coming next? It's going to change your next 7 days. Now, listen carefully. This carry the crescent moon, or the letter M on your palm. Something begins to shift inside of you, not months from now, not someday far away, but within the next 7 days. I don't say that lightly. I say it because the message is clear. 7 days is the prophetic window of spiritual alignment for you right now. And if you understand what this means, you'll start preparing not with fear, but with expectation. Let me break this down for you. The number 7 is the ancient number of spiritual completion. God used it to finish creation. The prophets used it to mark cycles of purification. And now it appears as your divine countdown. If you're watching this today, that means the portal for transformation has opened for you. This isn't fluff. This is activation. Within 7 days, your clarity will increase. That fog that's been around your mind, it will start to lift. You'll begin to discern spiritual messages with greater ease, especially at night. Often receive guidance in dreams. And this week, the veil between realms will be thinner for you. A hidden truth will be revealed. Something you've suspected deep in your soul will finally be confirmed, either by a sign, a person, or a shift in your environment. Your energy will polarize. Some people will be drawn to you like a magnet, and others will distance themselves. Don't take this personally. This is spiritual sorting in motion. An invitation or opportunity will arise. One that aligns directly with your calling, not for status, but for service. But all of this requires something from you. You have to respond. You have to prepare. You have to cleanse your space, your heart, and your schedule. You need to stop entertaining distractions and start writing down the patterns that keep repeating in your life. Because patterns are prophecies in disguise. Let's talk about the emotional part of this. Some of you have been walking around with a weight in your chest, like holding your breath spiritually. You've been waiting for something to happen, but unsure what you're even waiting for. Let me tell you, it's this moment. Not the video, not the words, but the signal behind them. This is your call to remember who you were before the world told you who to be, before you adapted, before you hid, before you silenced the voice inside that kept whispering. You were made for more. The mark is not a coincidence. The dreams weren't meaningless. The battles weren't punishment. Everything you've been through has prepared your spirit for this exact shift. You're about to move from being tested to being trusted. So what should you do over these next 7 days? Here's your spiritual preparation guide. Journal your dreams and thoughts every morning. You'll be shocked at what starts showing up when you review them after a few days. Fast from distractions. This doesn't have to be food. It could be noise, toxic people, mindless content, downloads. Touch your palms and speak life over them. Yes, literally. Declare what they carry. These hands are marked for healing, for vision, for prophecy. Speak out loud. I am aligned with the divine plan. This reprograms your energy field to match your spiritual assignment. Walk barefoot for a few minutes each day. Connect with Earth. Remember, you're not just a spirit. You're an ambassador in the physical world too. Here's the key. What you do in these 7 days activates what unfolds in the next 70. That's not numerology. That's divine strategy. The marked ones don't wait for the world to shift. They shift themselves into alignment, and the world rearranges in response. You've felt this building for a while now. That tension, that pressure, it's because your spirit knows that expansion is coming. And expansion often comes dressed as disruption. This is why the enemy has tried to distract you lately, even through people you love. He knows what's come. Alignment. He knows that when a marked one activates, strongholds fall, cycles break, generational curses snap, legacy begins. We're not done yet, but I want to hear from you now. Go to the comments right now and answer this. What message do you feel your mark is trying to tell you? Even if it's just one word, type it, speak it, share it with the rest of the marked ones who are watching right now. Let's start decoding these spiritual signatures together. And if you haven't yet, subscribe now. We're not looking for numbers. We're looking for echoes of the divine. Because what we build here isn't a channel. It's a movement of marked souls coming back online. Let's speak the unspoken now. Rejection, isolation, misunderstanding. These aren't just random setbacks you've endured. They were always part of the divine initiation process. You see, when God marks someone for a higher path, when He engraves stage, He gives them wilderness first, and that wilderness teaches you what applause never could. How to walk when no one's clapping. How to speak when no one's listening. How to believe when nothing is visible. The people you thought would affirm your path, they fell silent. The places where you expected love, you received confusion. That's because your mark doesn't just awaken destiny, it disturbs comfort. And not everyone is ready to witness someone stepping out of the matrix and into divine assignment. But here's the truth. The rejection was never about your worth. It was confirmation that your frequency was too high for where you were standing. Your mark made you misunderstood, but now it will make you magnetic. As you walk in this new alignment, you'll notice something sacred unfolding. The people who once ignored you will now be drawn to your presence, but this time you won't be needing their validation. Those who doubted your visions will begin to see. Spiritual labor. The world will finally recognize what God has been cultivating in the secret places of your life. But it won't happen by accident. It happens when you decide boldly to rise into your calling unapologetically. You were never meant to blend in. You were always meant to break patterns. Let me say this clearly. The Crescent and the M are not decorations. They are divine declarations. You are not who you were before this message began, because now you understand that your path has been guided, not random, that your pain had purpose, that the spiritual signs in your body were not imagined. They were encoded truths, placed there before you were born. And now that the veil has lifted, there's no going back. So what do you do now? You walk in truth. You stop dimming your light for comfort. You stop second-guessing your gift for the sake of fitting in. You stop begging the wrong. Build where others only wish. Heal where others only hope. Speak what others are afraid to say. You become the prophecy. And now, I want to invite you to do something sacred, not just for me, but for yourself, for your growth, and for those who are searching just like you. Subscribe if this message awakens something ancient inside of you. Not out of habit, but out of alignment. This is your digital altar. Comment below what revelation hit you the hardest. What line stopped your breath? What part confirmed what you've always felt but never heard spoken out loud? Share this with someone who carries the mark, because if they don't hear this now, they may miss the moment God designed for their awakening. You may be the key to their activation. This isn't about virality. It's about visibility for the chosen ones. Let them find their tribe through your courage to speak. Before we close, let me leave you with this final revelation. Every limit now a lie that no longer belongs to you. Every fear you held onto, it was a shadow. The real you is stepping into the light now. The you that was always equipped. The one who doesn't need permission. The one who knows that carrying the M and the Crescent was not a burden. It was an honor. The chains of shame, doubt, and hiding, they're done. This is your season of standing. Your season of seeing. Your season of speaking. You are not alone. We are many. We are rising. And the world is about to feel the pulse of what happens when the chosen ones wake up. So one last time, from spirit to spirit, from soul to soul. If this message spoke to you, if you feel the resonance, if you see yourself in these words, type "I am awakened" in the comments. It's not just a statement, it's a signal to heaven and to this community that you are ready to walk the walk of the marked. Let's build this new world together, one chosen soul at a time. Let you for your voice. We're walking beside you. And above all, we see you. Now that you know the truth about your marking, your mission, and your moment, what's next? The answer isn't external. It's not a new job. It's not a title. It's not approval from your family or validation from society. The answer is inside of you. The greatest power of the marked ones is not what they achieve, it's what they activate. You were never called to follow the crowd. You were chosen to spark awakenings, to restore divine memory in people who have forgotten who they are. Your life is a key. Your presence is a portal. And when you walk in alignment, entire atmospheres shift. That's why the resistance you faced has been so intense. It wasn't because you were doing something wrong. It was because you were carrying something right. And now, it's time to stop hiding that light. Let me tell you something many spiritual teachers won't say plainly. There are chosen ones walking. That their mere presence keeps darkness from prevailing in certain regions. They are the energy holders, the spiritual filters, the hidden prophets, and many of them carry the M and the crescent moon on their palms as a spiritual passport, showing that they were born into this dimension with a higher task. These are the ones who survived what others did not, the ones who cried in silence but still showed up, the ones who could hear divine frequency even in the midst of chaos. You. This isn't flattery. This is revelation. Because it's not just about knowing that you're chosen. It's about acting like it. And that means praying with authority, not with fear. Speaking blessings over your home like it's holy ground. Showing up in spaces with grace, but never shrinking to make others comfortable. Letting your boundaries protect your calling. Do you know why some people could never love you properly? It's because your light confronted the places in them that sit. Now that you know who you are, you're no longer waiting for them to understand. Because when you finally stop asking for permission, your power becomes unstoppable. Let this land in your soul. You have been trusted with divine intelligence. You have been trusted with sensitivity because you were meant to feel what others. You're rewriting spiritual DNA. Your children will benefit. Your community will shift. Your bloodline will carry the echo of your transformation. That's the real reward of the marked ones. They don't live for the moment. They live for the ripple. But be warned, the moment you say yes to your calling, resistance may rise again. That's not a sign to stop. That's a sign to keep going. When the enemy knows he can't take your calling, he'll try to distract you from it. He'll send confusion, small offenses, comparison, weariness, anything to keep you from walking boldly in your fire. But not anymore, because now you're aware. Now you know. Now you've remembered. Energy. And you're allowed to start again as many times as it takes until you're aligned. This is not the end. This is your re-entry. This is your divine return. You're not stepping into a new season. You're stepping into your rightful realm. Let this moment be sacred. As you close this video, don't just walk away with a feeling. Walk away with a shift. Take a deep breath. Place your hands in front of you. Look at them. Say this out loud. These hands are marked. I am chosen. I am not confused. I am not behind. I am on divine schedule. I am ready. Repeat that every day for 7 days. Watch what begins to unfold. And remember, when the chosen rise, heaven responds. From my heart to yours, if you made it this far, you're not just watching, you're awakening. You're not just curious, you're committed, and I honor you for that. You've spent so long wondering if the ache in your soul was just yours to carry. But let me tell you something that will settle that storm. That ache inside of you, it's not a flaw, it's a flame, a sacred ancient fire that cannot be put out, only misunderstood by those who were never meant to carry it. And that fire? It is your assignment in disguise. You weren't born to fit in. You were born to wake others up. You weren't born to just survive. You were born to realign destinies through the vibration of your presence, the power of your words, and the stillness of your knowing. That's why you've been uncomfortable in certain places, why you couldn't play small without feeling sick in your spirit, why even when you tried to quit, something always pulled you back. It wasn't your ego. It was your essence, remembering the agreement your soul made before you were born. Let's return to the symbol of the crescent moon for a moment. The moon doesn't apologize for its pee. Wanes, it disappears, and then it returns. So must you. This is your season of spiritual return, a re-emergence not just into the world, but into your true identity. For years, you may have wandered with doubt, self-sabotage, and spiritual fatigue. But the return doesn't require you to be perfect. It only requires that you say, I'm ready. And when the marked ones say, I'm ready, heaven listens. You are being crowned, beloved, not with gold, but with clarity, with peace, with the inner knowing that says, I am who God says I am. That is the greatest crown any chosen one can wear. And when you wear it, the fear leaves, the striving stops, the comparison breaks. You become undeniable, not because of arrogance, but because of alignment. The caterpillar has no idea that its slow, crawling path will one day become flight, but it trusts the process. Even when it's wrapped in darkness, spend years being underestimated, misunderstood, even abandoned. But the metamorphosis isn't about the world, it's about the internal reformation that happens in silence. And when it's complete, you don't crawl back into your old life. You emerge, you soar, you shine. Hear me clearly now. Your time of hiding is over. The inner shifts you felt lately, that restlessness, it's your soul saying, the cocoon is breaking, you're being summoned. So don't go back to playing small. Don't re-enter the rooms where your voice had to shrink. Don't try to convince those who were never assigned to understand your light. This is not their message, it's yours. And from this moment forward, your spiritual walk will no longer be survival, it will be sovereignty. Legacy is not built by noise, it's built by alignment. Your legacy isn't what you leave behind, it's what you activate in others while you're alive. Every video you share, every truth you speak, your calling, you're leaving divine fingerprints on the world. And those fingerprints won't fade, they'll guide others home. So walk as one who understands their life is an answer to someone's silent prayer.